I grew up in Pennsylvania and Illinois, and then I was living in Geneva for 10 years, in Switzerland, and 10 years in San Jose, Costa Rica. And that's where we came from when we moved back to the States. And it was 2005 or so, then the economy pretty much sank and everything sort of went south from there. And it was very hard being a mom with 3 kids. I was trying to bring my husband to join me. He's Costa Rican, but he had visa issues, and it never worked out. We never did get the visa, so we ended up divorcing. But so I was left alone with the 3 boys. Is the point?
How long do you see yourself staying in North Carolina?
Well, I came here because my parents lived here, and they were elderly. And in the end, my dad passed away and my mom moved to Virginia, so now I'm still here. Well, mostly because I like my home here and I feel like my kids are very happy here, so I imagine I'll at least stay until they finish high school or so. My 3 kids and I were living in an apartment that was very small. It was less than 1,000 square feet, and they were young boys. One was in preschool, one was in kindergarten, and the eldest one was in the 5th grade. And we moved here to this neighborhood where we got to go to, different schools. We were excited about being the first class of Morris Grove Elementary, but then eventually we got redistricted after the first year, and we started going to Sewell, Smith, and Chapel Hill High, which are all very good schools, and they're right conveniently located nearby. So all 3 of my boys were in different schools, but always in the same general vicinity. It was very convenient. And then this neighborhood had a swimming pool, and of course that's very good for active boys, and there's safe streets where you can go riding, whereas before we were in a place where it was more of a commercial area. Well, it was over by Rams Plaza, which is where the Food Lion is, over by Ephesus Church Road, and so really there was no place to go play safely outside except in our yard. And we had a pool at that apartment, but it was very small. You 2 strokes and you were already across. They were just learning to swim at that time, so it was okay. But now we have a beautiful Claremont swimming pool where the kids can really learn to swim properly, and they have so many children. This neighborhood's just grown, and there's so many kids their age. All their best friends live around here because they go to school together. I actually saw an ad on Craigslist because I was looking for homes, but they were always, I'd be stretching my budget to get anything that I really would have liked, and anything, in my price range usually had a serious issue. If it wasn't that maybe the kitchens and the bathrooms were very old and rusty, or different stains, or else maybe there was absolutely no yard, or very bad street where a lot of traffic, or there was always something, noise, something. So it was none of the houses were in my price range were especially desirable. Oh, absolutely. I work at the Interfaith Council, so we run the homeless shelters and also the soup kitchen and the food pantry. And when our residents are trying to graduate, they have a terrible time finding anything. There's Section 8 has a waiting list, and you might as well just say it's been practically eliminated. A lot of the apartment buildings don't accept it anymore. And so the low-income people in this community mostly have to go live in Durham. Well, I feel very happy that I'm building equity because in the old days when I was renting, the price here is actually rather similar to what I was paying as renting an apartment, except at the end I would have absolutely nothing to show for it. I would have nothing to be able to sell back at the end. And of course, it's expensive. I have to do my own maintenance, and I have to pay homeowners association and so on. So that is different. And obviously, as in an apartment, sometimes your electricity and water might be included in your rent. So things are convenient having, someone, but also I remember once my air conditioning broke in the summer and the landlord just did not fix it, and I had to, threaten with a lawyer and things like that. It was very unexpected. He had been a pretty good landlord, but I went months without air conditioning, and it was very hot, and it's not even particularly it's unpleasant, but it can even be a health issue for some people, especially if you have asthma, which is not our case, but he didn't know that. So it was very bad. I was working with a real estate agent, and she was very kind, and she kept showing me places that were in my price range, but of course they were, as I said, not particularly desirable. And then she would like bump it up a little bit and show me something that I could get excited about, but then when I did the math, it just was never going to work. So I was starting to wonder if I maybe would never own my own home, until I discovered the home trust, and then realized I was income eligible and could live in a beautiful neighborhood and, you know, have swimming pool and everything. As I said, it's just, we have all the amenities and lots of kids. So this is my home, Community Home Trust home. Entryway. This is my son who's doing his homework. This is our kitchen. This is our cat. His name is Samba. And we're walking here. This is our living room area. As you can see in the back, beautiful trees. Jerry's room. He has guinea pigs and he has turtles. This is
I just have you walk up the steps.
okay.
Yeah.